Good
Big
evening.
Ethan in. Good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
How'd that softball season go?
We had a blast over there at Page. We won 13 games. It's been a while since they won 13 in the season.
Yeah. And your daughter was on the state games too, I've noticed.
She was. She did play in the state games, and she got to play down at NC State, and she had a good experience down there doing that.
Does she like the campus and that type thing?
Yeah, she did. She's like any 16-year-old girl. They see something new for the first time. It tends to stick with them, and she likes it.
And what kind of softball is she doing this summer?
This summer, she's been playing on my travel team. I coach with the Lady Blues organization, statewide deal, and we've been playing away, man. The season never seems to stop anymore.
Ongoing all the time. How's your schedule going right now? What's your schedule been like this week? Getting ready for the kids clinics and the All-Star.
It's getting a little hectic. I've spent a lot of time on the phone calling former teammates and coaches to see who's willing to volunteer at the kids clinic on Saturday and just making sure everything's lined up. Chick-fil-A's gotten involved, and they're going to be on hand to feed the kids, give them a T-shirt.
Going to get a free T-shirt, going to get a free meal, going to get a free ticket to the game too.
Yes, all that good stuff.
And Graham Gano, is he here this year?
He's not this year. I couldn't get in touch with him. No, I think he signed a big contract, and he got real busy.
I got you. Who else is going to be here this year besides yourself?
This year we're kind of changing the format a little bit. It was getting a little bit difficult each year to get former pro players to come back, but Julius Reese was a teammate of mine at North Carolina. Coming out of high school, he's parade All-American.
Gotcha.
And he's Mount Tabor Hall of Fame.
Gotcha.
He's now coaching with Pat Crowley, who got the Winston-Salem Reynolds job.
Okay.
Pat Crowley was a 3-time All-American.
Wow. I may have seen him last night because Reynolds was at Western last night.
They were 7-on-7. That's exactly who was playing last night.
Yeah.
Dale Seagraves played at Dudley, played at Pittsburgh.
Brian's cousin, I guess.
Yes.
Coach at Dudley, He's going to help you then, right?
Said he's going to help out and help run the defensive line station. Jeff Smouse is going to run my quarterback station.
He's coming back home, huh? That's good.
And his son's here in town, so Brian's going to help me with a little one-on-one station. Brian played quarterback and walked on at Carolina.
Sure did, yeah.
And Charles Arrington is a coach at Lee County. Who coaches,
that's the old coach down with Coach Cates.
Coaches with Jeff Smouse now.
Oh, does he really?
So he's going to help me with the offensive lines.
Jeff Smouse is a neat head coach?
He's down at Lee County. He's the offensive coordinator.
Coach Smouse is?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's still doing it, man.
I thought he was done. I saw him up here last year, so I thought he might be wrapping it up, still at it.
And really what I think the neat change this year with the kids clinic is going to be the feedback we got the last couple of years was the kids love the interaction with the instructor, getting to talk to the guys. We're going to have the East-West All-Star players assist at the clinic. So the offensive linemen in the East team, they're going to help with the offensive line station. D-line will help with the D-line. They're going to really be able to interact with the kids. The kids get to ask anything goes, but they can ask questions of these guys.
I noticed you were able to do that with the basketball. What if you do it with football too? That's good. You can get the players involved.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to catch them on picture day.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in uniform for pictures. When their picture's done, they're going to help assist at the clinic for an hour.
The fun thing is, like when you get these baseball games, see the kid run on the field with a baseball player, they can hang out with a football or basketball player, then go watch them play the game on that night.
And that's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't realize what a role model I was as a player
guys,
until I got out of it and watched my kids, how they soak it up.
Yeah.
And these guys are the East-West All-Stars. They represent almost every county in the state over the years. I think every county at some point or another has been represented in these games, and they're the best in their communities, and they get to come here and be role models in our community. And I want our kids in our neighborhood to get to interact with them.
Now the clinic's coming up on Saturday down the street at Grimsley. Are you doing it inside the stadium or on the practice?
We're going to do it on the football field.
On
Joe Franks Field over
right on the bit, right inside the big stadium. The kids will be right on the same. That's kind of a fun thing to get to be on the field. The players play on later on that week.
Oh yeah, I think
exact field.
I hope it'll be a real fun thing for the kids that come out.
Now, you moved it from the day of the game, but you had maybe, I know you had that way at High Point. Did you have it that way last year, too?
We did have that. We did it up on the baseball field last year at Grimsley. But got a little hectic.
Yeah, this year you're doing it on a Saturday before the game.
So that way we can enjoy the kids. We don't have to finish right at finishing time to get out. It got a little bit hectic.
I can see that,
on game day, trying to accommodate the game.
It's tougher to move kids around sometimes. Younger kids move from place to place in a period of time. It'd be maybe an older kid at the football camp, right?
Right, and especially on the field, sometimes the kids afterwards, they like to hang out for a little bit and try to catch a guy coming. There'll be a little time for those kind of things, too.
A lot of kids just like to play catch with the football. You know, throw a football around. They love that.
And the way that our clinic works, as 10 kids show up, they enter station 1. Everybody else has to wait for about 8 minutes. And and then Station 1 will go to Station 2, and the next group enters. So as kids are waiting, we're going to have some players. They can talk, ask questions. They can just interact with some of the all-star players, throw the ball around a little bit or something.
What time on Saturday?
We're going to start at 3:30.
Afternoon clinic,
Yes,
3:30.
afternoon clinic.
How long do you think it'll last?
All right, based on the last couple years, it'll last about 2 hours. That's what it'll take. As a kid enters the clinic with Station number 1, originally the idea was to give them an hour, play 60 kind of thing. So you had about 6-minute stations, and we had about 7 or 8 stations. It took them about an hour to get through.
Right. And the kids come in Saturday 3:30 at Jamieson Stadium Grimsley campus. How old are these kids?
All the kids are 8 to 12 years old. If they get younger than that, it gets a little awkward when you have a real young one with an older one.
Right.
And if it gets older than that, if we get into 13, we got NCAA regulation problems.
Yeah, because I read about a kid going to Northwest this coming fall. I think he came from Western Alamance Middle School, going to another place in 9th grade. He's already had an offer from Virginia, so I think he could run the problems like that.
It's unbelievable how early recruiting starts now.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So 8 to 12-year-olds, boys and girls.
Yeah. Free. It's just fundamental camp, non-contact.
Right.
We're not putting anybody in pads, running through that. We're just going to.
Are you taking snaps, running routes, doing things like that?
Well, the way we've got 8 stations set up. We're going to start out with speed and agility to get them warmed up in Station number 1. William Bradley is going to help us with that. He used to coach track at Page. Now he's got a private business.
Okay.
And they'll go to Station number 2, which will be offensive line station. We got the blocking dummies. They'll get some stance and footwork drills and learn how to punch their hands and knock some of the dummies over. Then they'll go to the defensive line station. We're going to learn the edge pass rush, where we got the hula hoop drill and the block tackle dummies. So they'll learn how to run with a little leverage, get around that hula hoop, and go get to the quarterback. Some of the drills that the high schools and colleges are doing. And then they're going to go to defensive backs. They're going to learn how to open their hips, change direction while they keep their eye on the ball.
So every kid will go, even the big kids, they're going to the defensive back station.
They're going to go through everything. They're going to get a little fundamental exposure to almost every position.
Do they get the scrimmage?
No scrimmaging. No
scrimmaging. Basketball. When do we scrimmage? First. Yeah.
After defensive backs, they're going to get to kick some field goals.
Oh, really?
Harrison Kaiser is going to come over from Page and help with.
That's a good kid. People say that is a good kid.
Fantastic family, fantastic kid.
An excellent kid, and not a bad baseball player either.
Real good. I went to high school with his mom, so that's kind of my connection.
Good deal.
I can get him to help, and he's very willing to help out.
He's been starter, I think, at Page since he was like a freshman.
He's been all conference every year he's been at Page.
So he's going to be your kicking man.
And then they'll go to wide receivers and learn how to run a couple of short routes and a couple of long routes. And then they'll go to quarterbacks with Coach Smouse. And they'll finish with a little one-on-one in the end zone trying to score a touchdown with Brian Smouse. That's as close as we'll come to a scrimmage, is a little one-on-one.
And when they catch a touchdown, do they teach them a celebration dance or anything like that?
Well, it's interesting. They'll do what they've seen on TV. People get frustrated with the NFL for all these rules that they put in.
Right.
But I understand it now that I've got kids playing Pee Wee football. So some of them will probably have a little celebration for us.
When they're catching those passes, are the little kids throwing to each other, or you got a quarterback throwing to these kids?
Well, Brian Smouse is going to be the one throwing to them.
Gotcha.
So we're going to do the best we can to match up the same size kids, same ability kids. There'll be about 10 kids in the station. So normally, hey, if you got 4 or 5 advanced ones and 4 or 5 younger ones, we'll be able to identify them and pair them up appropriately.
And this is all going on Saturday, 3:30 at Jamieson Stadium, Grimsley campus. Kids, boys and girls, ages 8 to 12, they get a free shirt. They get a free ticket to the game on Wednesday. Get a free meal from Chick-fil-A afterwards. A lot of good things.
And they've got to register online ahead of time.
Prior to, you can't show up that day.
Nope. Can't do it. We've got to know who's coming, and they've got to agree to the liability waivers online, all that kind of stuff.
Might be the biggest thing, the liability waiver. Yeah.
So on our website, eastwestallstars.com, on the left side, there's a little kids clinic tab.
Saw that today, yeah.
And you can go in there and register online.
Got that email today from David Willoughby, kind of a reminder about this. I posted that at the website. It's a good thing he sent because it's got, like you said at the bottom, the link to get to you guys. Now, you're doing that on Saturday, and on, I guess, will it be on Monday?
On Monday will be our first basketball
Did you put that together too?
We have. I've been working on that one as well lately.
Man, you're a multitasking man these days.
Well, luckily the NFL gave me a head start in life. Now I get to do the fun jobs. These are hobbies of mine, and they're just fun because when I grew up here, there was people that put these kind of programs together for me. I benefited. Jamieson Sport Camp was one of my favorites. That Bob Sawyer and carried on the torch with Bob Jamieson. And
now, how's the basketball going to work? This is your first venture venture into this.
It's our first venture, so we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to have some trouble, but kids, again, they have to register online.
Gotcha.
And it's for boys and girls, 8 to 12 years old, same age group, same idea, free clinic. We're going to have former college players help and assist. We're going to have 8 goals set up. So we'll have 8 stations.
And that's in the pavilion at the Coliseum.
That's going to be in the pavilion.
Gotcha.
We'll start out warming them up with a little fast break drill, the goals. We can turn it into a full court. And during that time, we're going to try to identify as best we can the advanced players and the not so advanced and separate them in those categories.
Split them up a little bit, yeah.
And split them up and put them in the same groups. And then we'll split into stations. So they'll get shooting fundamentals, dribbling, rebounding, get a little one-on-one, get a little triple threat positional work on offense.
Now, we've known about the football clinic. How recently did you put this basketball clinic together? How quick did this come together?
Been, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we put it together. It's been very popular. We thought about it last year. We talked about it. Actually, it's been longer than that. Phil put it together and got the Coliseum to commit to giving us the space.
Phil kind of got the logistics done and turned it over to you. Yeah.
He turned it over to me, and I got with a former teammate, Octavius Barnes.
I remember that guy.
Teammate of mine at Carolina.
Was he a two-sport man or one-sport man?
Both of us played football at Carolina, but played in the East-West basketball.
I remember you played at East. I wasn't aware of him, but I thought he was a basketball guy,
he and I reconnected, and he's done several clinics, and he's been in the Roy Williams basketball camp.
He'll be up here for your clinic.
He's going to be up here, and he's really helped give me a blueprint for basketball.
Since he's done them already, yeah.
He's done a bunch of them. I told him when I was doing it in football, he said, it won't be too similar. We're going to try not to do the rolling start. We're going to try to start basketball right at 3 o'clock so we can identify the kids, get them, and get some fundamentals with them. And then the women's basketball game's at 6:30. So hopefully some of the kids will stay. They'll get a free ticket to the game and just stay at the Coliseum for the women's game and the men's game.
Here's the smart kid maybe checking this out. Can I do both?
Of course.
Both clinics.
Separate registrations.
Yeah.
But they've got to do both. And one other thing we've added to the East-West football game on Wednesday nights, the NFL punt, pass, and kick.
Oh, you're having a competition?
We're going to have a local competition.
I know they've always done the old crazy thing before maybe one person select come out and try to kick a field goal. I always thought, well, you're doing something bigger
that's going to be between the first and second quarter and the second and third quarter, where Chick-fil-A's sponsoring.
That's where the cow comes out.
If they come out and kick a field goal, they're going to win some Chick-fil-A prizes.
Gotcha.
And they've got a circle to throw through. If you throw the ball through the hoop in the second and third quarter, they got more prizes that kids can win.
I got you. So you're doing a punt, pass, and kick competition too?
Hey, we're going to host a local competition, and that's a whole separate registration. You got to go to NFLPPK.com, and they've got strict rules on that. You cannot wear cleats, and you have to give us a copy of a birth certificate. Because when we file the paperwork, we have to send that in if you qualify. Because you have to. My understanding is you got to win a local competition, then you got to go win a sectional competition, then you'll have a chance to go compete at a Carolina Panthers game.
So this will be like a qualifier then, maybe.
Basically, yes.
Wow. Now you keep it back when you played football and basketball and even baseball. You kept up with things, but gosh, you didn't have to be that detail oriented back then. Just show up for practice, do your work, learn your plays. This has got a lot of details involved.
Sports has really changed over the years. What I'm learning, we used to just go outside, and once another kid saw you outside, all of a sudden we had enough to play a game.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be in a structured practice playing on a travel team.
Right.
We got AAU basketball in the neighborhood basketball courts.
Yeah, I was in those courts with you back when you were a kid. You don't remember those games.
We were up there all the time and played.
Forest Valley.
There was no shortage of kids to come out and play. Kids don't do that much anymore.
Right.
Now I've got kids, all 4 of them are active and healthy and loving playing sports, but it is organized. My wife and I divide and conquer, and we know when practices are. We've got our calendars, and she's tonight taking one to baseball. I'm supposed to pick up. So we've got to get out here by 8 o'clock.
We'll get you there for sure by 8, so a little after 7. But like back when you were a kid, you had a buddy. You and your buddy. There was always everybody else had a friend. You know those two good. As long as you had 2 guys, you had a game.
Well, Ray Wilson, one of the buddies, will always look at the courts. He helps me at the kids' clinic here. He hits the horn for me.
Really? I remember Ray Wilson when he played at Forest Valley. Remember Ray? A little bit of a stocker guy, not a huge stock guy, but he played at Grimsley a little bit.
He was a teammate of mine at Grimsley. He's always played sports with us growing up. So it's nice. Those guys are glad to help be around. And
that's good to have those contacts.
It is.
Yeah, Ray Wilson. I remember that name pretty well. I remember Coach.
It was a whole lot cheaper to play sports back then.
Oh, yeah. You had to have a T-shirt, a pair of shorts, and shoes. I remember when Coach Weaver's daughter played at that same court. Stacy would come down there.
Stacy used to come up there. They just lived around the corner from us.
Yeah. You probably remember John Castles? He used to come down there, son, John?
My brother Stuart and John were good friends growing up all the time.
So now you're working on these clinics. What's the response been like? So how are you getting the word out? I know you're doing all you can to get the word out any way you can through press release and like that, but you got to be almost like your brother Stuart when he ran for judge. You got to get out in politics now. You get the word out about these.
When you do good things, the word kind of travels out pretty quick. We've already got a good number of kids registered to come out. Last year we had about 200 kids out, and that makes for a good clinic when you get that many kids. So people go home, they talk about it, and they look forward to next year. Kind of word of mouth. You spread the word around
at places like Prolific, put stuff out there about it?
No, I really haven't so far. I think I've got enough kids coming just through social media and through some of our media outlets and being on shows like yours tonight, helping us talk about it.
But that social media is something else you didn't have back when you were a kid. It would have been like if you would have had Facebook back when you were in high school. You may not have made it to Carolina.
I'm a little nervous about some of the stories that could have got out there, and then I never could have got away from them. Nowadays, I worry, even my kids, if you make a mistake, all of a sudden somebody's got a camera and you pay a severe price for it.
People go around with these cameras, walking down the street, taking these selfies. I think, how important is it to have a selfie?
I think everybody can remember being 16. Your thought process and your mindset's just different than when you have some maturity. And some of the decisions that I made weren't the best, but luckily, I didn't pay a price forever for it.
How has the game changed since back when you played? I mean, not as well as about this organized teams, but the game itself, how has it changed, you think?
I think the mindset of the kids has really changed. I'm learning this at softball at Page. There's a real sense of entitlement. And that may come from being on travel teams and getting taken here and getting taken there. And some of these young AAU teams now, they're getting a boatload of merchandise from Nike and Under Armour getting involved. And when they come in, the work ethic's a little different. The hustle, I really have to focus a lot on teaching hustle. Where it used to be, it was a privilege to play on the team. Now I think one of the changes, instead of being a privilege, it's more, Coach, you're lucky I'm here. You get to coach me today. It's some of the mindset.
You need to be glad to have that player.
Everybody seems to be a permanent free agent. Hey, if I don't like this coach on this team, well, I quit and I'm going to go play on a different team. But there's a team for everybody. So there's a lot of competition.
So you even see that in softball then?
I see it in softball. I hear stories from other coaches talk about it. I started seeing that at the end of my NFL career. Some of the rookies coming in had a real sense of entitlement. I'm thinking, you're nuts. These are great jobs, man. I'm going to hustle up and do whatever I have to. I'm going to back up center guard and tackle. I'm going to snap. I'm going to do whatever I need to keep it. Because if you're not Peyton Manning, you really don't have much leverage.
And Coach Weaver said your percentage of effective snaps almost 100% your entire career.
Well, I always felt like I was going to get cut if I made a mistake.
How many snaps would you make a game back then?
It varied. I would say on average,
it was punts and field goals, extra points?
So it varied 12 to 14 snaps a game.
Busy.
So it was enough to keep me busy. And when you feel like you got to be perfect on all of them, it gets a little stressful, even in my little corner of the world, in doing what I did. But
you got to watch the entire game all the time because you never know when you might be trying to get out there, right?
Well, and I constantly warmed up all day. I didn't want to go in cold turkey. I didn't sit down a whole lot in games. I was in the kicking net.
Snapping it to the net?
Oh yeah, I snapped him to the net.
Just like the kicker's kicking the net, you're back there snapping the net.
You just have to stay loose and stay warm. And change of possession. You got to be ready to go at any time.
Did you ever catch a pass in your pro career?
Almost.
I wondered,
When I was with the Miami Dolphins my rookie year, I was right out of college. I was a 300-pound lineman. I was the third tight end in goal line situation. And rolled out, and sure enough, Bernie Kosar was our quarterback then. And I looked, front side was covered, came back to me in the backside. Actually, I was wide open, and he threw it at my ankles. And I dropped it. And I got back to the huddle, and he was just laughing like crazy. He said, Ethan, I had to throw it low. I didn't want it to hit you in the shoulder pads, pop up and get intercepted and run back the other way. So he didn't have a lot of confidence in me.
Right. But other than that, that was the one pass that came your way, I guess.
That was my only chance, and he threw it low.
How many years in the Redskins?
I got 9 years with the Redskins. Marty Schottenheimer brought me in 2001, and Mike Shanahan escorted me out in 2010, 2009.
Let's ask this question. What was your favorite, other than playing at the Redskins field, your favorite NFL stadium to go to? Have a favorite NFL stadium?
I was privileged. I mean, I love several of them. I love playing in Buffalo. Buffalo is a fantastic home field advantage.
Did you like it in the fall or in the winter?
Really, for me, I liked it in the winter better because it was a better home field advantage. I mean, the weather was awful.
That's when you were a player.
But it was neat for me to be in Miami. The first game they looked at was, when do we play Buffalo? Not in December. They were praying it wasn't in December. And then I got to go play in Buffalo,
So you,
and they were the opposite. They're like, when do we play Miami? Hopefully not in September.
when you play for Buffalo, it's almost like playing in Canada, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, we were so close, and the border was easy to get across. I went to some Tiger Cat games and got up into Toronto a little bit. It was a 45-minute drive to get across the border.
What was your least favorite stadium in the NFL to play in?
I didn't care for playing out of Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
Between Oakland and Philadelphia, it's kind of a tie. The Philadelphia
the fans of Philadelphia, yeah.
those people are as advertised. That is one of the meanest places.
All the stories
to play.
people have talked about over the years.
They are true. I mean, we had signs up in the locker room, don't take your helmet off, because they'll throw batteries and that kind of stuff at you. They cleaned it up when they went to the new field, and they had a judge. Everybody knew they had a judge under the stadium.
Yeah, to take care of
where they
yeah.
could process you right there on site if you got too out of control.
Amazing.
But Oakland, the fans out in Oakland aren't much better than what was in Philadelphia.
What type of season do you think TJ Logan's going to have this year?
I think if he can stay healthy, he is ready to have a breakout season.
Yeah,
I have enjoyed watching him the last couple of years. His freshman year, he was slow with a knee injury, and then really came on the second half of the year. And he really has the ability to do some special things on the field.
Do you think Elijah Hood factors in all that pretty well again this year, too?
I think it's a great 1-2 punch. When I was at Carolina, we had Curtis Johnson and Leon Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Curtis Johnson.
Curtis was our Elijah Hood out of Smith. He was our power back, and Leon Johnson was out of Morganton Freedom High School. And
Leon
really,
went to the pros, did pretty well there. Better
really
than
athletic guy. Really could catch it out of the backfield like a TJ Logan. Really athletic. He catch it out of there. And Elijah Hood doesn't have bad hands either. But those two guys really give you some options.
Got a lot of backs to choose from there, though, right?
Well, they need that offensive line to grow up. It's the same five guys to be back and having another winter program under their belts. I really think the Tar Heel offense is going to be able to do some great things.
Do you look for some of your kids in the clinic, see some of these kids being future, and you want to kind of keep up with some of these clinic kids, see what they do in the future down the road?
It's fun to think about it, but the little bit I'm learning in softball is if you start focusing on college, your kids get stressed out and lose the fun of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just focusing on making this clinic a fun clinic to build some enthusiasm for the sport, and hopefully they'll want to play in the fall league and play on through high school.
Your daughter Gracie, or is it Gracie or Gracie? Gracie, she's still playing softball. You got three other children too, right?
Gracie's going to be a junior at Page this year.
Right.
My younger daughter Madeline will be a freshman at Page this year. And then my younger son Lawson will be at Mendenhall, and he'll be old enough, 7th grade, can try out for the Mendenhall football team. And my youngest son Nolan is just living the dream, man. He's just turned 10. He's got a size 12 shoe.
Is that the gentleman with you tonight? Or is that?
No, that's Lawson is with
Lawson
me.
tonight.
He is my third child.
Gotcha.
And my youngest, he's kind of like me, where looks like he's going to be the biggest of the
And you
bunch.
say he's 10?
He's 10 and got a size 12 shoe.
Size 12 at 10. Wow.
He's off the charts size-wise right
I
now.
guess all these kids will end up going to Page.
Hey, we're in the Page district. We're
Yeah.
happy over there. Rusty's giving me a job over there. Principal Faison's trusted me to run my little corner of the fields over there. And we're having a good experience. We're enjoying it.
What other plans are there for you for the future? Do you see yourself kind of getting even more involved in the Coaches Association? Is that a big future thing for you there?
I'm not sure where I'm heading with it. Right now, I like what I'm doing. I've kind of got seasonal jobs.
Yeah.
In the summertime, I'm really involved in the East-West games and doing the kids' clinics. In the fall, I'm working with the Tar Heel Sports Network.
And you go home and away both now, right?
Right.
Full
I'm doing
time, right?
away games, so I'm traveling on the weekends again, enjoying that. And then in the spring, I'm coaching softball. And
So you kind of got it filled in there.
well, the NFL gave me the head start, as I mentioned, and I get to pick the fun jobs right now until I grow up and really figure out what I want to do for the next 20 years. I'm enjoying spending the time with my kids and being an active dad. And I'm happy doing what I'm doing right now until I find my way.
Give us those clinic details again. Let's break that clinic down to
Okay.
both clinics, because I got to say clinics instead of clinic.
On Saturday is our kids' football clinic. It'll be for kids 8 to 12 years old. No pads. You don't have to come in. There's no contact. All the kids will be basically taught the fundamentals of multiple positions. They'll get to interact with our East-West All-Star players who will be on hand.
And the East-West All-Star coaches, are they there as well?
They'll be there, but I'm kind of focusing more on the players. Give the coaches a little break. Sometimes
Right,
they need
right.
time to game plan a little bit, talk
Sure.
about what they're going to do at practice, and if we need them, they're more than welcome to jump in. Some of those coaches just like being involved with the
Yeah,
kids.
they
and
see
doing
something,
that.
they want to
So
jump in and help out.
I'm going to
Yeah.
kind of leave that up to them, but the first hour, the East team will be on hand to help us. The second hour, the West team will be on hand to help us, so we'll stagger them. And then Chick-fil-A will be on hand to give them a nice East-West All-Star T-shirt and give them a snack on the way out.
You get the ticket too.
And get a ticket to the game. You're right, on Wednesday.
And then that basketball's on Monday.
And the basketball clinic will be on Monday. We're going to run that one from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock at the Greensboro Coliseum Pavilion. We'll have signage up on where to enter, and we're going to try to start that one right at 3, getting the kids warmed up, identifying who's at an A-level competition, who's at B-level, and try to separate them by
And Octavius Barnes, he's the man kind of helping you out there.
Octavius Barnes, he and I reconnected. He's really helping me get a blueprint for the clinic and how to run it. But we've got a host of former college players that will be on hand to help run stations for us.
What are some of your memories of your All-Star experience? Because you played with the basketball team. And I ask you, did you ever regret saying, man, I wish I'd have played football now after I played basketball?
No, what basketball did for me is I started training camp at Carolina in great shape because I came right out of the East-West All-Star game and I went down to
Back
Carolina.
in that day, you didn't have to report for Carolina camp like at May 25th. you could wait a little later, right?
You could wait a little bit, but I started summer school at summer before my fall, so I was ahead of the game a little bit. Now they're starting in January summer.
So were you going to summer school at Carolina, even out on going with the All-Star games?
I was.
So you could be in chapel and then come back here and play the game. Okay, gotcha.
And I can't remember
who was your coach in that back? Do you remember that? That's just.
Oh, I do. Tommy. I remember that Tommy was over at Burlington Williams. If you
Tommy Cole.
Tommy Cole.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you hadn't asked me his name, I could have told you.
Because he coached the girls and boys both in the same season a couple years ago. He's doing that again this year.
He made it a really fun week, fun couple of days. And Donnie Seal was in our conference at the time at Moorhead. Played at NC State.
Coach Harder coached him up at Moorhead, I think.
And so he and I kind of developed a little friendship there. And I was actually hopeful he was going to be able to help me in the kids clinic. He's working for a transport company and he's going to be out of town apparently. So he's not going to be able to be back this year, but maybe down the road we'll be able to get him to come back and help.
And you look back at that All-Star experience and all that stuff back in the day, who was a big influence? You talked about having those people, you talked about the Jamieson camp and all these different camps that you went with as a kid. Who was a big influence that kind of pushed you in that all sports direction? Because you played football, basketball, baseball,
Well, my family was a big influence. I mean, back then, a lot of my friends and my brothers all played multiple sports. We played seasonal sports. You know, you went basketball, baseball, football, and you didn't have all the options of year-round stuff, and I'm really glad I didn't. I don't think I would have liked playing the same sport year-round.
If you would have had to choose back in those days, that's not quite kind of a crazy place for Ethan. If you had to choose back in those days as a kid, you think back now, I can't make a decision because it's already gone, but think back, which one would you probably choose?
It would have either been basketball or baseball. Baseball was always my funnest sport. Actually, I walked on in Carolina for a year and pitched on the team for a year. But I had the most fun playing baseball, and I think that's why my love of coaching the girls in softball right now is at the forefront. But if I would have had to choose when I was in junior high school, it would have been basketball because that's the sport I was best at.
And you were big.
Because I was this size, I was this tall in junior high school.
Absolutely.
And basketball is real easy when you're a foot taller than everybody else.
Yeah, you were a foot taller than me when we played at that Forest Valley court. I always tell that story so many times. I said, I remember some games that Ethan Albright involved, and I would go up and just foul the daylight. So I said, there's a foot difference. I was like, I gotta do something, try to get some kind of advantage against this guy. But even in 8th grade, I remember you were 8th grade, you dominated that court back then.
Well, it was fun. I was taller than everybody else. I was athletic. I could jump,
you could run the court,
I could do all that and run. And really, football was an afterthought. I didn't play in my sophomore year at Grimsley.
You didn't play football?
I didn't play at all.
Wow.
My mother said I wasn't big enough. She said, if you're going to get hurt, I'm not going to let you.
Yeah.
But she took me to the gym every morning before school. She let me prove that I really wanted to make it and play football. And I put on 20 pounds lifting weights.
So how much would you think you were weighing back as a sophomore? You probably
my sophomore year was about 180.
About 180. That was pretty lean.
Put on 20 pounds.
You were about 6'6" back then.
6'5", 6'6", 200 pounds when I started playing.
Yeah.
I graduated. I was 220. I put on the freshman 20 at Carolina every year.
Every year, yeah. Wow. By the time you got through, did you ever reach the 300-pound mark? Did you ever get there?
I did. My rookie year in the NFL, I got to 310.
310.
And I was never meant to weigh 310.
Wow.
It's not a pretty size.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt terrible. I was tired all the time, sweated all the time.
Felt better when you got some of that weight off then.
I did. I'd feel better if I got about another 30 off.
Yeah.
I'd feel much better.
Exactly. But who, and your family was the influence? Any coaches or people in the...
Really, Jeff Smouse.
Jeff Smouse.
The one that
And Grimsley could have had more success when he was there, but he must have made a big influence just being your coach.
He really did. He got me thinking, hey, he kind of pointed out, Ethan, hey, you can be a decent basketball player at 6'6". You got average size for basketball, or with your frame, you got outstanding size for football. really can use your natural advantage, and there's no telling where you could go with it. And got me interested and got me playing. And you know, we had a quarterback that could throw it. Greg Franklin was one of the better quarterbacks I ever played with. Man,
Sean Brown, Greg Franklin.
Sean Brown may be the best running back I ever played with. Man, I played with some good ones, but he was fantastic, man. He was lights out.
If you're not in the same conference as Page, you guys might have been a state championship football team.
Well, we did beat them in the state playoffs
when
I was there.
Was that the one where the guy kicked the field goal? 10-7 game?
We won 10-7, and we went to the state semifinals both year, my junior and senior year. But we just
state semifinals?
We couldn't get over the hump to get to the finals.
Was that kicker Kurt McGuinn? Was that the guy?
It was Kurt.
Yeah, he kicked that field goal. Man, crazy stuff.
Clutch kick, and he's always been remembered for it, too.
He has to be. Do you get together with some of those old teammates from Grimsley?
You know, unfortunately, I've missed most of my reunions because I was always
on the road.
playing.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking forward to our next reunion because I'm in town and I'll be able to make it.
You think you'll ever run for office? Ever thought about that?
No, I really haven't thought about
Stewart's
politics.
pretty big into that, yeah.
Stewart's a judge here in town, does a good job, and hearing his stories of having to campaign, I'm not sure I want to go. I'm cut out for that process.
He's still doing the judge work, and Eric is where now?
Eric's an attorney here in town with Smith Moore downtown.
And John, your other brother, where's he?
He lives out in Memphis, Tennessee. When he left Grimsley, he went to Memphis State, played basketball, married a local girl, and got into real estate and television commentating, and has really made a niche for himself out in Memphis.
And your dad, when he was younger, he had red hair, right?
He did not.
I thought he did.
My dad has a brother with red hair. My Uncle Bob has red hair.
He's the one that played in the All-Star game.
He played in the All-Star game. He'll be back in town for his reunion year.
65?
Yes, it's one of his reunion years.
Gotcha.
And my mom's mom had red hair, so red hair's on both sides of my family.
He would have had to come from somewhere. Had to. But after all these years, you still like being settled back here in Greensboro. This is probably the place you want to get back to.
There's no question. The more places when I lived in Miami and Buffalo and D.C., it just made Greensboro all that better to me. I like things about each city that I lived in, but when it came time to raise a family and have kids and programs and activities, home is, you can't replace it. Because I've got, my in-laws live out in Kernersville. My parents are still here in town.
Right.
My brothers are here, so.
And like you said, your schedule runs pretty much. You got the softball during softball season, the Carolina football during football season there, then the Coaches Association clinics the rest of the year.
And my kids are involved pretty much in everything that I'm doing. They help me prepare for my boys help me prepare for the football games on Saturdays, and hopefully they get to go to a few games here and there and be a part of it. And the girls, obviously, in the spring get to be part of the softball. And
now, who's your young protege with the Coaches Association? Because Coach Weaver and Coach Morris, they were kind of neck and neck, about the same age or close to when they worked together. You've got a young protege over there?
Well, I mean, Coach Weaver was my basketball coach at Grimsley, and he probably told you a little bit about how I got involved with the Coaches Association. He approached me about it. But Joe Franks is one of my favorite teachers at Grimsley.
Yeah.
I can remember sitting in his sociology class like it was yesterday. He's always been full of energy, always a positive guy. I like going in and picking his brain on things, as well as Mac Morris, one of the smarter guys I've ever been around. I got coaching issues. I go into the building, hey, the girls didn't seem to be into practice today, and they remind me to keep it fun and work through keeping it fun and keeping the drills going. So there's just a wealth of experience that I get the privilege of going in and asking. And for the football game, Clayton Nance knows everybody in Greensboro.
Yeah.
There's nobody better to learn from than Clayton Nance.
He's almost like a car salesman. He knows many
Well,
people.
he teaches me how to talk to people, how to interact with people. He's got the best people skills of anybody that I've been around, and he knows everybody. He's taught everybody, been connected with everybody, and he gets respect because he gives respect. But everywhere I go, people respect him for the way that he treats people.
Being part of that Page football coaches staff was a big thing for him too. I think just so many people knew him from that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just being a quality person.
3:30 on Saturday at Grimsley, and the kids get the free T-shirt. They get the free meal after the clinic. They also are going to get that free ticket over to the game later on Wednesday at Grimsley. Then Monday at the Coliseum about 3 o'clock. You said
3 to 5 in the pavilion, and again they'll get a T-shirt and they'll get a ticket to the game. T-shirts are while supplies last. We've only got so many, but we hope to give all the kids a T-shirt.
Well, Ethan, you're always working hard.
Thank you very much.
Good work, and look forward to seeing you at the games. Look forward to seeing you at the softball field, and look forward to listening to those. I'm an NC State fan, but I love listening to Carolina games. And, I mean, you got better and better.
I hate to admit it, NC State's they're on the up and up and up.
Yeah,
they keep getting better over there.
They must have got every running back of any significance in the state in that recruiting class. They got the Frazier kid. They got the other kid from down around Garner, Hines. I think Hines' his name is. They got Gillespie out of Southern Guilford.
Yeah, I hate to say it. They're doing a good job in state.
They got the quarterback for setback too, which he had a very good finish this season last year. Going to be interesting. Doing any high school games this year?
No, I'm not. Spencer
South
Turpin
Carolina.
partnered with Jeremy Phillips,
Oh yeah.
who played at Moorhead and played in the NFL with the Rams for a number of years. He's helping them.
Gotcha. Sports chiropractor, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. We'll be listening on Saturdays.
Thank you, Andy.
Keep up the
Appreciate
good
it.
work.
Thanks.
Ethan Albright with us. There goes our banner again, Dom. We have to wrap her up. She don't want to stay up tonight, but that's okay. We got Coach Lippard coming up next from Northeast Guilford, and